Hello, welcome to Beyond the System. This is a podcast that is just it means so much to me, and again, just welcoming you. I'm your host, Antonio Weezar, and I just want to introduce also the messenger known as. So, welcome to 2026. There is so much that we have in store, and I truly hope that you've done your due diligence. We're saying goodbye to the old. And as we welcome and walk into the new year, 2026, we realize that it's blank. It's a clean slate. So, what was the future, uh, in the days of past is now. It is our reality. I know we don't have the flying cars and the hoverboards and all that cool stuff, but this is the year of 2026. What are you going to do? Um, I truly, again, embracing people that put out that New Year's resolution. It is a huge commitment, and most people don't realize what they're doing. They just like I would really like to lose some weight. I'm not happy with myself. I want this. I want that. But we fail ourselves because a New Year's resolution should not just be something that we wish for, that we want to try and manifest. It should become a choice of something that we want, and then something that we wear in our heart that actually wears us because we become it. And in that choice, then it becomes a part of who we are in the sense of it drives the choices that we make, the decisions throughout. If there's a jelly filled donut and you really want it, do you want it more than you want to lose the weight? So let whatever that conviction that you set on your heart drive you. If it can't be set on your heart, then you don't want it bad enough. Something's going to be on your heart heavier. So let that be a little bit of just nugget to help you guide you in this upcoming year. Remember that those things, the things that we want, they're kind of I wouldn't say a blueprint, but they're a blueprint that an architect makes. Now, you may have commissioned an architect to create a plan for you, that blueprint, if you will. But also, you need to know how to build that, how to get from paper to reality, from a thought, desire, thought, plan to what is. This year, 2026. There's so much spirituality wise. There's so much buzzing in the community, and there's so much talk about all the things that are going to happen. But 2026 brings some amazing things. I think one of the consensuses that I see is that reality is changing, and it's changing because we want change. People that love and are in their hearts, we want a better world. We have to realize that manifestation, at least to me, is something that is something that we're looking to do. So in 2026, when you have a resolution, you're manifesting. You're creating something that you want in your mind. At this point in time, as we traverse through the universe in a secular pattern, pardon me, um, manifestation happens quicker. As we age, would you say that things happen quicker? It seems like today would just blew by. It seems like the past year just blew by. Realize manifestation also is happening quicker for us. And in times in the Bible, and I know I go there a lot, so it's one of my strong realities of things that I know. But in the Bible, it speaks of end times being a period that time does not exist. So if it goes so fast to a point that now it no longer exists, that could potentially be a point sometime. It's got to happen in the future if that's the truth. So time, not being linear, being cyclical. Now, to me, I've done a lot of studies on cycles, but one of little dust thing flying around me. One of the things that, as a young boy, I recall, and some of the things that I'll call visions throughout my teaching, that were shared with me. I don't know why a little young kid would have any desire or knowledge of some of this stuff, and I couldn't tell you the age of some of these visions or knowledge that was shared to me, but it was shown to me that time is a vortex. I mean, if you think of a vortex, it's usually spirally, and it gets smaller as it goes closer to the middle. So the farther in time as we traverse, the farther into the tunnel you go, the more narrow it gets, and the faster the acceleration becomes. To maybe give you a visual of this, if you're standing in the tub and there's a whirlpool, and I know tubs might not have it right in the middle, but if you have a drain and you throw something in that tub and you watch it, when it reaches a whirlpool, it starts off kind of as a big low, going around, and as it gets closer to going down the drain, it gets faster and faster and faster until what happens? Couldn't tell you what happens at that point. The point is remembering manifestation is not something that is an instant gratification. Maybe you don't believe in that stuff, the manifesting, but I hope to maybe bring some knowledge to you. So manifesting, not instant gratification. What it is, though, is a creation of a time in the future, of a reality that you are casting out there into the existence of time. Some will say manifestation, that's hogwash. That doesn't work. What I say in response to that, and the challenge to you, if you feel that way, did you do the work? Did you make the right choices when they were on your table? Did you follow through when you were supposed to do something? I need to lose weight, but you know what? That I really had to have that donut. You have to be stronger. You have to want it more. So manifestation, I call it like a request. It's telling the universe that this is what I want. You know what the response is? Heard you. But you're not quite ready for that. Let me prepare you. Prepare me? What do you mean prepare me? Well, you got to be ready to be able to handle that, right? We're not just granted something. We're just not given it. There's things that come with that. So if we can't handle something because we don't have it already, what does that mean? We've got to learn something. We gotta be given the ability to handle it. How do we earn that? How do we learn that knowledge? I heard many times, you better be careful what what you pray for and ask God for, because He might not give you that, but He's going to give you the path to it. We're given the opportunities to grow, to make choices. And so many times I hear people, I'm back at it again. I hate this. I'm always back here. Make a different choice. If you keep making the same choices, you're going to end up in the same place. So this podcast to me, Beyond the System, I think I don't want to it's so much more than just the words. It's not just taking down the system, down with the system. Um, I don't agree with where we are at in this world. I would never say that the system ever was intended to fail. So, something if this is success where we are at right now, I don't know who wrote it, who casted that vision, but I don't agree with it. But systems are help to get you through something. To uh, create constraints to guide you. So understand that this podcast is about helping humanity, which I don't like where we are now, to get from where we are now, not only as a society, but as people, to help us recognize that, yeah, something's not right. Something's not right. Don't we have to make a change? And if there is a change that needs to be made, how do we do that? What do we got to do different? I hope that what I bring forth, not of all my this isn't of the messenger of Tony. I'm not the message. I am a conduit through which that is shared. So I hope that what I speak into you doesn't just help guide through changes and mind states of things that we have to do, but to help teach the things that we have not been taught, to make us aware that we need to do something different. And at that point, we can elevate ourselves. I know there's, again, in the spiritual world, maybe it's not in the mainstream, maybe it's just my algorithm, but talk of, the new world and things that are coming. Um, why do we need a new world? And that is the question. Why do we? Do you believe in higher life forms, something greater than us? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in aliens? I know so many times people that are religious are they can't come to terms that there's aliens, or that we would be lesser than something. Maybe there is something bigger than us. What if? What if there's something that existed on this planet that we don't know about, and that whatever it was here long before us? What if we're the aliens? What if we come after? What if civilizations rose and fell, become advanced, created advanced flying machines, interdimensional, the ability to be invisible, and they are alongside of us here? Well, we would see them. Would you know? If such beings existed, do you think they would want to be around us? I mean, there's so many times I don't want to deal with the people around us. Do you think our vibration, the energy that we bring, that that is compatible with them? Maybe it interferes with their ability to be who they are. Let me give you an example. Have you ever been somewhere, maybe in a room, where there's this one person that just, when they come in to the room, maybe some people are like, "Yeah, that's you, Tony," and the energy shifts. You can feel just a difference. They're always negative, and they're always, whatever, that energy doesn't vibrate with you, and maybe it makes you feel a little uncomfortable, where you really aren't, you don't like to be around this person. Maybe that's us to them. you know Back to manifestation a little bit, digging in. Manifestation to me, is it not just kind of wishful. I want. I think it's deeper than that. Um, to me, I like to look at it as creating, um, being um, the ability to have a prophetic, vision of something that is to come. What if? What if the powers that we've been told since we were young, we have so much more capacity than we are, what our brain has the ability to do. What if you're underutilizing yourself? What if you had the ability to create that and to create that vision and to create that timeline? You know, wizards, I like to call that wizards. I wear, part of that. Being a wizard is kind of laughed at, oh, Harry Potter, stuff like that. What, whatever. Obviously, movies have made certain images in our mind. I think that unfortunately it's hard to believe the knowledge and information that we get fed. And oh, that's make believe. Or maybe you're thinking to yourself right now, wizards. All right, guy. That is not Christian. Didn't we get rid of all of those, the witches and wizards and all that stuff back? Stop. Do you believe in prophets? If you read your Bible, you'll realize that the Bible speaks of prophets. Was taking away the ability to be a wizard, one form of silencing that inner voice that is within us. Little information, and I believe it's the book of Malachi. It states that that he will send forth the prophet Elijah before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Couldn't tell you the exact scripture verse, but it's in Malachi. If it's in the Bible, don't you have to kind of believe in that? So if you can say wizards, that's evil, bad, prophetic, um, but then you can also say, well, yeah, I believe in prophets. What's the difference? What was a wizard? If you look back, um, they were actually Christ's, first of all, because they were somebody that had the ability to say, no, you're not right, King. Let me ask you: Are you tired of what's going on this planet? The chaos, the news. I don't even turn it on anymore. I just cannot allow myself to be at that vibration. If you're tired of the planet, how how did we get here? Not like physically on the planet, but to the state of where we are, the division, the hatred, the anger. I know there's love and we see what we want. That's not what they're showing us. Do you think it's random? Do you think where we are now was a vision that somebody had that we are now walking a timeline that somebody wanted us to be at this point? Was it God's vision? Or do you think we're following Jesus's vision? To me, Yeshua. Whose vision is it? Is it a collective vision? Is this what we want? Not what I want. If there is such thing as a man behind the curtain, and I don't say this, the swamp. What is that? The influences that create the reality that we live in. The man behind the curtain. That was a movie, right? The Wizard of Oz. Huh. Wizard. Go figure. So if there's the ability to create a vision and this was somebody's plan, and we are here. Are you happy with it? Do you think the individual, maybe long gone, that casted that vision, passed it on to for other people to carry on? I would hate to think that this is what was wanted for us as humanity. Take a moment and ask yourself, and I ask you, if you could cast a vision of the world, and let's just say if we had to work towards in 100 years, let's even say tomorrow, if you could wake up tomorrow and you could picture what would be to you the perfect world, what would that be? What would that be like? Think for a moment. Most of us don't even like, we're unhappy with what we have, but what do we want? And then once you get that vision, and maybe some just a few general ideas, pause for a second if you have to. Think about that, and then come back. Would your vision align with everyone else's vision of what perfect, what would be the ideal world for humanity? Do you think we could all come to a point where we could agree on something that actually worked? I don't think in this state that we can come to agree even if red is red. But if there's things that we have to do without or give up, what could you do without in that perfect world? What is that line? What is the difference between the overall happiness of us as a society versus our personal happiness? And what does it take to get to that overall happiness point? I might ask again, and I know I'm posing a lot of questions here, but where we are at right now, and it's like I couldn't even tell you how to get there, but how do we as humanity get from where we are here now in 2026, the future? We are the future. How do we get from here to that reality? Is this something that you can do on your own? Can you make a big enough impact doing what you're doing right now in your lifestyle? Do you think that has any contribution to the world that you thought about if you so did that? If it does or if it doesn't, great. But if not, how do you make the changes? How do you know what to do to get from here, 2026, to there? I think that part of that comes through having the right wants to do it. Why are we doing this? When I think I came to my realization that something had to be done, and still to this point, one of the biggest pains that I carry is, as I walk forth on this path, is kind of the same. It's a motivator, but it's also like I'm sad for various reasons on it. So it's the same thing that motivated me, but also creates a little bit of that pain. And what it stems from is, as a young father and growing up, I always tried my best. Those that know me, maybe there's been screw ups, whatever. Nobody's perfect, but I aspired to be the best father I could be. I would love to say, once I become a grandpa, I know I look 18, 20, whatever. No, I've got three beautiful grandchildren. But being a grandpa was very a part of me. Some of the hardest times, I'm grateful for my grandson that sat beside me during them times. Filled my heart. But one day, something just was different. I was looking at the world after COVID and looking at the cost of living and the way the world was. Everything went up, inflation, more inflation, more inflation. And it's not blame this, no, blame us. There are choices. It feels to me almost nearly impossible for a youth, somebody, put yourself 18, maybe you went to college, you come out $100,000 in debt, you land a job, rent even in the minimal form, maybe $1,000 a month for a home. Crunch the numbers, it's nearly impossible. So for me, I just, it started to be like something has to change. It's not going to fix itself. The cost of living is not going to just go down. Something has to change. You know, I've heard many times from older generations, people older than myself, even, and even my generation, that, well, just go to work, and the older generations that were here, that I don't want to say they had it easier, but they did not have the obstacles as well. That world that you, as my parents' age or grandparents, that robbed, or pardon me, that world was robbed. It was stolen. We were too happy. We found a way to make that system work, and they weren't happy with it. Or a system come in place and said, we're going to take advantage of this. Now, 2026, look at us. So for me, I had to do something. I couldn't just sit complacent anymore. I couldn't, my soul would not allow me to be okay with what is now. It started with my children and my grandchildren at the root of my motivations. But I realize now that it's not just them and my descendants, future descendants. But I started to realize that what great, their world, maybe I can make some money and take well care of them. What about those that don't have that afforded to them? This is so much bigger than our descendants and the inheritances that they may receive. How happy are they going to be in that future time if they're doing good and the world around them is miserable? So I found myself at a point that something had to change. I had to choose. I had to choose to change who I am, to choose the impact that I may be having on this planet. Not out of selfishness, not because I want to look like I'm something that I'm not. I think many times I'm like, I could be doing something different. I'm doing what my heart's telling me that I have to. I'm doing my passion. So even though right now I'm having to sacrifice time and even like, well, what about your future? What about your retirement? What good is all of that? Seriously, you know, I, I just think that we got to dig deeper, please. If you've watched this video to this point, if I'm speaking to your heart, I'm not trying to be somber or any of that, but if you said inside, like, man, this is, I'm feeling this. Realize it's not just in your mind you're thinking it. If you're feeling it, you're feeling it in your heart. So if it resonates with you, if you feel the same way, walk with me. I can't build your house for you. What I can do, though, is I do know an architect. And this architect shares blueprints with me. knowledge, information, guidance. I need to be very transparent that I'm not the messenger, or pardon me, I'm not the architect. I'm not the message. I'm the one who brings the message to you. And to feel the impact that hopefully that I may be able to have, I'm manifesting it. I am the messenger. So again, if you feel it, if you feel the need for different, if you feel it in your heart, make a choice right now. Make a choice that you are going to make a change. Not just say it. Don't. I want to make it. I need to make a change. Feel it. Tomorrow, wake up. Feel it. Walk with me. I don't have all of the knowledge for everybody, but I'll bring what I can. And if you listen and you feel it, it will help you. So let's start today. Let's create a world that we want right now that is good enough for the future of who we will be in humanity. You know, I know you might have little butterflies, or my stomach was turning. I know this was in meditation. Here I received, something when so much weight I felt was put on me, and it's not just on me. It's on me to change what I can and be what I can be. Not everybody's going to be a voice, but as it was said to me when I said, "Why me?" Literally, I'm like, "Why me?" What I heard in response was life changing. Said, "Why you?" Because you heard. Not only did you hear the message, you felt it. Not only did you feel it, but you had the audacity to listen. Most dismiss it. That's somebody else's problem. And then I heard, if not you, who? Who else is stepping up? Who else is making the change? I'm like, but I mean, yeah, maybe I can do that in a couple of years after I do what I'm doing. You know what I heard? If not now, truly when? Tony, you're a procrastinator. When? Stay tuned. Follow my content. Follow, what I say. Not everything's going to resonate with you, but I will be bringing more fruits, more truths in the future on Beyond the System.